So, like, what is Taco Talks?
It's a blueprint for all of the entrepreneurs who are looking to get into this space. My thing is, when I was going through and I was creating Taco Talks, there wasn't a blueprint for what you needed. Lulu P is one of the people who introduced me to like kind of P-rapping. And one day I'm with him and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you need to do something for at least 10 years to kind of say that you mastered it, get a good feel for it, and see what's going on. And if you don't see yourself doing something for 10 years, you might as well quit. When I go out of town, I travel, go to different states, sometimes other countries. And when I try to meet artists or introduce myself, people may know about me, but they don't know about any of the people on my channel. I'm like, damn, like I felt like I done interviewed some of the biggest in the area. So I'm like, all right, boom, what do I have to do to kind of get that reach? So I'm like, if I'm making content for men, how do we get the women to repost my content? At this point in time in society and the world, social media, women are doing a lot of great things. Let's just give all women a platform to speak their piece, to talk about real gender norms and expectations and just what your experience might be like in the field.
If you could go back to, the beginning of Taco Talks, like back in 2016, is there anything that you would change?
I probably would have just...
Yo, you want to know some of my peeps? I peep that 90% of y'all watching right now are not subscribed. If you could do me a favor and subscribe, it really helps the channel, really helps me bring on bigger and bigger guests. And I promise you I'll up the production on everything of the podcast, bring on bigger guests and everything. Really means a lot if you hit that subscribe button. Now back to the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond Ordinary podcast. We're out here in DC with the DMV legend. We got Taco Talks in the building, man.
Damn. Thank you for having me. I'm a legend? Okay.
Of course, man. Been seeing your content, Taco Talks, man. You put me on. Sir. Like, the whole reason why I'm even in the studio right now is because I just ran into you at that conference, and you put me on. You was like, yo, fuck with High Life. And I was like, all right, bet. Pulled up. I was like, this is a dope studio. And I live close, too. I was like, damn, it's close by. And they reliable. Man, got to get you back. Got to get you on, man, for your own episode.
Nah, I appreciate that. These are the homies. These are the homies. They help me with my content. Mm-hmm. I love the studio. I fuck with this space. This is a real thorough space to me.
Absolutely.
The members that I meet as well. Mm-hmm. I always try to give props to High Life because it's like community. Somebody was like, why you fuck with this studio? It's like community.
Absolutely. I've been seeing some of the events. I know there's a grills event happening tomorrow that I'm going to pop out to. I've been meaning to get me a grill, so I'm about to just see what's up, see what people fucking with.
I think I'm going to have to stop by myself. I had a grill at one point. I think it broke.
It broke?
Yeah, I think it broke.
Damn.
That bitch in New York.
Hell nah. How much you drop on it?
No more than like 150.
No more.
It was 2 teeth. It
was
fucking
bad.
fangs and shit.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, man. But speaking of your content, bro, like I was on your YouTube and I was like, bro, Taco been doing this YouTube shit for years, man.
Yeah.
Like, what got you into it?
I just genuinely like talking to people, right? So at one point, the BET Awards that came on, right? And I'm sitting there watching that joint with my folks. And when it came on, I'm looking and I see they doing red carpet. My folks like, yeah, people get paid for that. Granted, most of the time people are
get paid for like what? What do you mean?
Red carpet introductions and like red carpet interviews and just interviewing the celebrities because it's like
it's publicity for them,
right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I never thought at the time that I came across that, I never thought that it was a career. Like I never looked at it. I thought people were like volunteering and they like, yeah, all right, yeah, you're pretty good or you're pretty cute. Let's go ahead and get you on here. Mm-hmm. And when they told me it was a job, I just started doing heavy research into like what would it take to become that person, that interviewer, that red carpet talker, specialist, host, or whatever you want to call it. So,
facts.
That just led me down to I mixed that career path with also knowing that I enjoy speaking to people. Like I feel like you can learn something from everybody, from
Absolutely.
like
a
6-year-old to a homeless person to anywhere in between. So I just kind of speak to everybody.
Okay. So like, what made you want to start a podcast and be like, this is the way? Like, how did you land on that?
So I was doing my research, right? I used to always watch Breakfast Club, right? Even before, because Breakfast Club was like, Charlemagne was kind of a funny character. And then I was also watching Sway in the morning because he had the rappers up there freestyling. And I'm like, dang, I like rappers and I like to be funny. Or I like, you know what I'm saying? I like the comedy of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bet. Let me just go through and figure out what I need to do. So I studied them too. Then I looked at like Wendy Williams for a bit because I started in like 2016.
Yeah, I peeped.
You know what I'm saying?
A minute ago. That's 9 years, bro.
Yeah. Almost 10 years deep. You know, it don't feel like that long, but when I go through the catalog, it just be like, dang. But at that time, like I'm saying, it was not too many people popping it on social media. It wasn't too many influencers.
What was 2016, bro? Social media was low key fresh. Like I don't even think Instagram. I think Instagram barely had videos at the time.
I seen yeah, exactly. Instagram did not have videos because when Reels came out, I was so excited because I'm like, yes, I can put commercials of my videos out. You know what I'm saying? Like at first it was just like you just post a thumbnail and people are like, you know what I'm saying? But when you could post that commercial, now people are looking at it like,
you could post some clips, bro.
Right?
Like,
yeah,
I'm trying to tell you, like for at least for me, like and you could attest to this too, that like at least for my shit, like Instagram Reels converts pretty well for my YouTube.
Yeah.
And when people see it like a fire clip, they be like, oh shit, and then they go check out the YouTube.
I was telling you I was watching that Myron earlier, and it came from a clip that I seen where he was just like he had an open conference at I guess a college campus.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And so I seen that clip, and that made me go search for the real video. You know what I'm saying? So I imagine that people do the same thing with my videos or any clip of a full scale video that they see. So I was like, you know, I love that. Thank you, Instagram for Reels.
Facts. So like, how have you seen, or actually, how has your content changed or / evolved since like you started?
Man, when I came out, right, I was just trying to go through and I really wanted to go through and I was just talking to people that I thought would create a buzz or people that I thought had an audience.
That had motion.
That had motion, right? So before I started social media, I was already doing social media management through like an internship. And so that had helped me, that also introduced me to like, oh, okay, you can get paid for being on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? This is before monetization. This is like people would hire. I mean, I guess now it's pretty popular, but at that time it wasn't. It was like a developing skill career lane, right? So I had started with that and it just showed me, oh, you can get paid for, you know, monitoring comments or like uploading new content. You know what I'm saying? Right. So at that time it was media manager. But now, like in today's current time, they go through and merge media management with content creation, with content scheduling. So it's like they try to, you know, buckle all of those down into one thing. And I was doing those services for people and I was trying to explain to them, like I said, it was still new, that content creation and content scheduling and media managing are 3 different things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like to create the content, you kind of got to be a specialist in that area.
Facts.
To schedule the content, you just need to see
the nothing. You just need account access and know when to fucking post this shit.
Right. Yeah. And then what's that? That's content creation, media management. And then there's one more that I just listed. But either way, like each of those things are their own. They're independent of each other. But now the expectation is to go through and kind of
do them all.
Yeah, do them all. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed going through and looking and realizing like, you know, the content thing is it really is a bundle package and you become more valuable. Like I recently been talking about like full stack developers, which are like developers who can go through and I guess they can code it, they can revise it, they can program it, and they call that a full stack developer. So I would say I'm like a full stack content specialist because I like create my own content, schedule my own content.
Yeah,
I do outreach. Like I was one man show for a very long time. If I've been doing this for 9 years, I've been with High Life, 2-3 years? So for like 6 to 7 years, I was doing everything.
By yourself?
Yeah, by myself. Damn, outreach, you know what I'm saying? Scheduling, research, editing, shooting. I did everything myself. So it was like,
it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's a grind. Like I got a team. I mean, from day one, like I already had a team that does like my editing and shit. Pretty much the only thing I do myself is the guest outreach. I can't imagine having like edit my own shit, bro. Like but like,
Yeah, editing is crazy. It's probably my least favorite part of being a creator.
facts. Like you already just talk your shit. It's hours long, and then you tired, and it's like, damn, now you gotta go back and edit.
Yeah,
And
I be explaining to people like, imagine living something, remembering it, then rewatching it, and then finalizing it again to rewatch it. So like now you done lived the same experience 4 or 5 times within a matter of days, and it's like,
facts. It gets repetitive.
yeah, it's repetitive,
Yeah.
monotonous. That's not my speed.
Hell nah. So like, what is Taco Talks? Like, what is your podcast?
So there's another thing that, me and CEO at High Life, we kind of came up with this routine or this explanation of, it's a blueprint for all of the entrepreneurs who are looking to get into this space. You know what I'm saying? So boom.
Into like what space? Like media or like?
I wouldn't even say media, because we specialize with all kinds of people. We go through from rappers, artists, entrepreneurs,
I've seen y'all have boxers and
models, boxers, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, when I was going through and I was creating Taco Talks, there wasn't a blueprint for what you needed. It wasn't no step by step. It wasn't too many people. I think like the only person, and I wasn't even watching his stuff, but this is the only person that I saw as a successful content creator was DDG back in like 2016, because bro was like doing all types of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like just new ideas of like, this is what you want to do. This is how you schedule it. This is kind of like the thought process behind it. And I was like, with me enjoying talking to people, it started off because I wanted to create like a portfolio. So once I go to college and I come across a communications professor or media specialist or whoever I run into, right? I'm like, hey, this is what I've been doing. Check this out, review it, and let me know what I can do to elevate and revise it and fix it and become better. And so the thought that me and Jaco had came up with was, it's really just a blueprint for anybody, you know what I'm saying? As far as the people that I've interviewed, mainly rappers, artists, athletes, models, of, what did it take for you from start to finish to get to this point? Or what are some of the key points and factors that you'll need to achieve a similar outcome to this?
Yeah.
And so like I said, it's a combination of things, but I wanted it to be a blueprint because, like I said, when I came through, it was no blueprint. It was no model.
It's 2016.
Yeah, it's 2016. Like it was kind of like coming up with it on the fly. Like YouTube was jumping, but it's like, you got to think it's like tutorials and music videos. There's not streamers. There's not content creators. There's not 20v1s. There's like, it's just a different variation of YouTube. So, just going through and building that and experiencing that, I feel like my content is just elevated because now I kind of know, like studying communications, doing so many hundreds of interviews. Now I kind of know what kind of things are going to make people tick. And when I say tick, it's not to an irritation. It's like a tick to understand like, oh, you may like these type of things. So if you like these type of things, chances are you're like this, this, and that. You know what I'm saying? And being able to see that in people within a couple of minutes of, most of my guests, it's my first time meeting them. I actually tried to do interviews with people that I knew. And at that time, it was hard. Now I feel like I kind of know what to go through and explore. Because you're not going to get the same reaction, right? So if I know you, right, and I'm asking you about an experience that we've experienced together, you kind of going to be like you'll probably answer it, but it'll go through and it'll make you be like, you were there with me. Like, why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't get the same reaction. It kind of makes for bad content.
Yeah. I mean, I typically like to ask, like, not, like, I think what you described was more so like an inside joke in the sense. Like, I don't be doing that on my shit. Like, nah.
And that's how I feel like the content is evolved. Because I'm like, I would think that on camera asking a personal thing, or not even a personal thing, but I would think that an inside joke would be one of those things that kind of like break the ice. But in actuality, at that time, it didn't.
Yeah, I think about the viewers, like they're not gonna get it, and so then it's like you just watching two people like have a conversation and probably geek out over some shit that you have no idea, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
trying to rerun the interview and figure out where they got to this at. And like, what did I miss?
I'm saying. But bro, you've been doing this shit for like 9 years. You said you was doing it dolo for like 7. Like, how'd you keep going, bro? Like for 7 years. Like most people can't even do something for 1 year consistently. You know what I mean? So
When I think about doing it for 9 years, so it's a number of things, right? But one of the things I do want to mention, just because we're approaching 9 years, this rapper, his name is Lulu P, right? He talk all P shit, like before Primo Rice and Sauce Walker and Larry June. Maybe Larry June was at the same time, but I didn't know about him. But anyway, Lulu P is one of the people who introduced me to like kind of P rapping. And one day I'm with him and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you need to do something for at least 10 years to kind of say that you mastered it, get a good feel for it, and see what's going on. And if you don't see yourself doing something for 10 years, you might as well quit. And so I was just like, yeah, I talk to people every day. Like it don't matter who you are or what's going on, if you're famous or not. So that was one piece of it. But then the second piece is like I just constantly saw elevation. Like I constantly saw elevation. Like I started with like local rappers
Yep.
and I hit like a chain of local rappers. And then one day I hit a rapper, like a bust down chain. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. We going up. He got a chain. Like we had the
This
next
nigga say, yo, he pulled up with a
he
chain. I
pulled up
made
with a
it.
chain. Yeah, we going up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole different level. Like
you funny as shit.
you gotta
bro.
understand, bro. Like we going from people who are, you know, and there's nothing wrong with this because one of my favorite artists, he do this, but I'm going from talking to people with like white t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking, like, I just think about stuff and levels, right? So I'm talking to somebody in a white t-shirt. Boom. Now I'm talking to somebody with a white t-shirt and VVS diamonds. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. You got to think about the timeline. Like, Hood Rich Pablo Juan was one of the rappers that I introduced me to, like, the quality of diamonds or the names of diamonds. Like, at first, you just seeing gold chains and shit. But, like, Hood Rich Pablo Juan's like, yeah, you got SIs, you got VS1s, and then you got VVSs, which is VS2s, and then shit start upgrading to baguettes and I don't know the other types of diamonds, but like now you like paying attention. So he was doing this 2016, 2017.
Right.
2017, I run into a rapper. Then he look like he got them VS. He don't got no moissanite on. You know what I'm saying? He got them VS2s, that thing dancing. You know what I'm saying? This is ASAP Addy.
Yeah.
And you know, he had a little bust down Rolex. He rap about Ivan Ooze, villain from one of the Power Rangers movies. And so he like, yeah, I got the ooze, or yeah, I'm oozing, or whatever. Shout out to TacoTalks too, because that's Ooze Lord. But anyway, Addy was like, yeah, I got the ooze on. So he had a bust down Rolex with a purple face. He like, yeah, I got that Ivan Ooze on me right now. Mm-hmm. And he had the merino chain. And I'm just looking like, damn, this nigga got a chain. This nigga was with ASAP. Like, yeah, we going up.
Yeah, so how were you able to break through and get guests like that, like bigger and bigger guests?
You just gotta be strategic, bro. Like I'm thinking, all right, boom. I had a couple of different strategies, and all of them seemed to work for the most part. Like I seen success from most of them. One of the strategies was like, let's go through and meet all of the artists. I mean, this also goes into research and how you going through and contacting the artists too, but it just works in the same fashion. But let's see who's around this person, right? So I give you a perfect example. There's this rapper from Maryland. His name is Big Flock. Big Flock was locked up. But my mindset was like, all right, boom. If I go through and I meet the people who are attached to Big Flock while he's locked up, he'll probably come home, watch that content, see me, and then when I reach out to him, he'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. So that was just one variation of it. And the other thing was just going to where rappers will be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to invite somebody to your location. It's another thing to meet them where they're already going to be. You know what I'm saying? If you meet somebody where they're going to be, they're there. They're not leaving. They're scheduled to be there. They're at work. You know what I'm saying? You catch somebody at work, like they're going to be ready to work.
Okay. So like, is there like, what's the pitch though? Say like it was somebody that, is that like all in one? Like you interview the people that are around them and then meet them where they're at? That was your strategy?
Nah, those are two different ones.
Okay.
So like, boom, let's say with Big Flock, right? there was this rapper. His name was Baby Yock. Rest in peace to Baby Yock. He had passed, and the other rapper was Lil Dude, and so I had did one. I think I did one with, I don't know who I did first. I must have did Lil Dude first, and then I did Baby Yock, and then I had interviewed Big Flock on his way home from jail. Like I had went with his team to go pick him up from jail to go through and, just kind of document his first day out. Actually, I'm in the first day out video with Big Flock. That joint's kind of hard. But that's just one way. The other thing is meeting them where they're at. And that's just going through and like, all right, well, I'm here. I got a camera. Like I said, it's not too many cameramen. Right now, there's like thousands of cameramen just outside now. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, it was like either you shoot a music video or what are you doing with a camera? You know what I'm saying? So like when they see me at the concert and they know I don't shoot music videos, but they see me with a camera, they're like, damn, who's bruh? I'm like, hey, I'm Taco. I've done this artist. I've done this artist. I've done this artist. I would love to have you on the channel. So like I'm sending thousands of emails too, not to the same people, but like a chain of different artists that I'm interested in, I'm listening to, or they might have dropped a mixtape this week. And so it just, both of those two things are like key components that really help me kind of blow up, because with me doing the artists that other artists knew, when I run into artists, they're like, oh yeah, I seen your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they haven't actually seen anything, but they've heard my name. They've heard the business name. And so that's the other thing that kind of goes into it. The reason I had Taco Talks is because like anything that I get into, bro, I'm going to study it or research it. And that's before interviews.
Of course, you got to, man. Coming unprepared is crazy as fuck.
You know what I'm saying? So I was watching Shark Tank and they were just talking about the importance of alliteration. You know what I'm saying? So alliteration, you only got maybe like 15 to 30 seconds of somebody's time, or you might have a little bit more than that, but in their memory space of like being
they actually remember what you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got 15 to 30 seconds. And so I'm like, all right, boom. You see a black person, his name is Taco. He's talking, he's going to be on TV. That way, once I walk away from you, you don't have to remember the whole thing, but the alliteration is going ding in your head. It was Taco something. It was Talking
Taco
TV.
Talks. Is that why you named it Taco Talks?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The alliteration, super alliteration. And it had just ended up working. But, it's been a journey.
Hell yeah. And then I know you, I think, you got 2 shows? Because you got the 2 girls, 1 taco.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you come, like, what made you want to do that?
Bro, just doing content, audience research. Like a lot of people don't study the analytics. I don't know who said this on YouTube, but somebody was like, bro, like study your analytics. Like,
but what does that mean? Because like study is kind of a broad term.
Study is like just go through and review it and figure out like what's clicking, like what's working, what's generating results, right? So you can go through and just post something, no reaction. And then another time you can post something and it just boom. You know what I'm saying? And boom don't have to be like 1 million or 100,000, but like if you averaging 5,000 views and then you post something one day and it go up to 9,000 views in the first day or within the first hour, what'd you do there? Was it the hashtags? Was it who the content was about? Was it the time that you posted? Was it the day that you posted? Out of those people, who was watching? Was it men? Was it women? And so what I realized is that after studying my analytics for so long, a large base of my audience was 21 to 35-year-old men in this area, in this tri-state, DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but that's not doing much. So I had talked to some people, different people who content specialize or brand specialists or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they were just saying like, you've already captured that audience. You need to do something to rake in new customers. And so 2 Girls, 1 Taco, I just found out that like, you got to think, when you hop on Instagram, most men, it's going to be some type of twerking, butt jiggling, bikini baddie up there. That's just you don't have to be like into that, but that's probably just what's going to generate into your thing.
Bro, that's what going up. I was just thinking this earlier. Like, I don't know what made me think about her, but I was thinking of Megan Thee Stallion. It's like, bro, like her biggest reels be about her shaking her ass, not about her music.
And it's not even her. It's like most women, their biggest reels is like some type of like sexual twerking,
Yeah,
half naked type of thing. And I don't mind that. I'm not trying to discredit that.
yeah.
But if we're doing this and we're content specialists or marketing strategists or brand influencers, like
Hmm.
you got to think about stuff to that degree. And so I'm thinking like, all right, boom. If no women are watching my stuff, how do I get women to watch my content?
Hmm.
Because like when I go out of town, I travel, go to different states, sometimes other countries. And when I try to meet artists or introduce myself, people may know about me, but they don't know about any of the people on my channel. I'm like, damn, like I felt like I done interviewed some of the biggest in the area. I thought these people were booming. But when I, like I said, when I go to other places, they're like, nope, I don't know who that is. No, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, damn, for real? Like this person got 50,000 views. This person got 1,000,000 views. And like, never heard of them. So I'm like,
Hmm.
all right, boom. What do I have to do to kind of get that reach?
Yeah.
Um, Most of my friends, a good majority of my friends are women, and I'm pretty sure if you got some women that you follow, which I know you do,
Mm.
you're gonna see them post their friends, whether it's their birthday, whether they looking nice, whether
Hell
they're
yeah.
just trying to support. You know what I'm
Thanks.
saying? And I had ran into that issue as well when I was looking into
What issue?
just men don't really share content. Like men are trying to be so cool and present themselves in such a
Yeah, bro.
posture.
Especially like, now that we older, you say you was 26, I'm 27. Like, bro, like I have like two different Instagrams. I got one for my podcast page and I got one personal. And it's just
Right.
like I got to the age where it's like, bro, like it's not, at least me personally, it's not a I'm too cool thing. It's just I got better things to do with my time than to just
Right.
post on Instagram. But
Right.
women, what I'm saying, a lot of them are not as business savvy. You know what I'm saying? A
Right.
lot of the business content that I watch, I know for a fact, like a lot of women don't watch.
For
And they're
sure.
just into the cutesy posting shit. And you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But that's cool. You know
Right.
what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. But you were
Yeah.
saying?
I just was saying that like, to that extent, like women gonna post their friends, they're gonna post a baddie, they're gonna go through and like share somebody, they're gonna, even if it's somebody they don't know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So on the opposite end of
Even
that,
if it's somebody they
nah,
don't-
for real, like
Oh
it's
God.
crazy. Like a girl's
Yeah.
just gonna post what a girl thinks is cute or what a girl thinks is relatable, whereas men are gonna be like, man, I'm worried about the women that's following me, if what they're gonna think about this, or if the men is gonna think this is like too whatever champ, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
cliche or whatever it is, right? And so just thinking about how people think, and like I said, this also is a skill, I guess, from talking to people. Like you talk to people so you kind of understand what makes them go. And I
Yeah.
just realized like women are gonna share the content. Like the viewership is cool. Like that's what we need. But also like sharing it is like you don't have to watch it because you shared it to the point where somebody else might watch it. Or you're introducing your audience of like so many, you know what I'm saying, hundreds of
Hmm.
people. Whereas like, and that's the other thing, like women on their Instagrams, they don't have to be nobody. They don't have to be no kind of celebrity. They don't have to be a model. They don't even
Facts.
have to be super duper cute. They're up there getting 700 views on a story. Like, who are these 700 people? Like, you
Bro.
really know these 700? Like,
Hell no, they
nah, but
don't.
that's like
It's
all of
just a
the,
bunch of niggas in their DMs or
right.
likes and shit.
So I'm like, if I'm making content for men, how do we get the women to repost my content? Best thing to do is go through and bring women on the show, and they'll be like, let's talk about what's relatable to women. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Fresh and Fit, was watching Kevin Samuels. There's another podcast I like.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's the name of the pod.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah. I'm hip to whatever. I seen that joint too.
Yeah.
I seen also um there's the Rich and Unemployed podcast. I really like that joint. And there's one more called Every Day is Friday. And I'm just, like I said, I'm going to study something if I'm going to get into it.
Right.
And so, like I studied Charlemagne and Sway in the Morning and Wendy Williams. I'm like, all right, let me study these podcasts. Fresh and Fit, I tell Jaco this a lot, that like, they had the right idea, but
They just took it too far.
I mean, it's not even that. I think I think what they're doing is reasonable, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you got to think about who the message is getting to. And if so many people are deciding to close their ears because they're triggered by certain words that you're saying, Maybe just not say those words and let them come to the self-realization based off of other words that you're saying, which is probably like indirect and takes a little bit more time, but still relatable content. You know what I'm saying? So we here for, are we here to be liked? Are we here for content? Are we here for money or whatever it is? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just study and kind of like reverse engineer into the study of analytics to like audience consumption.
For sure. You know, and I'm glad that you brought up Fresh and Fit and kind of like their format, because I've seen that shift and like, you know, bringing women on with the content and stuff. And I'll be honest, like the majority of my audience is male. Like it's not too many women that, you know, watch my shit or really repost. So, and I typically never ask people to repost.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Yeah, I'll do it like a guest or like send a message like you gonna get one when it's dropped. But like I'll never hit like my friends and be like, yo, you mind reposting it? The only time I'll do it is if it's something like, let's say like that is relatable to like the masses. So like for example, when I brought on my fraternity's international president, I hit up all my chapter brothers and shit. Like, yo, can you repost this? I'll do that. Like, I'm trying to get the Howard University president on the pod. Once I do that, I'm hitting everybody I went to Howard with to repost that. But if it's just a general interview, like, even if I like the clip, I'm not gonna repost it.
Man, I was never into that. I feel like I did go through that phase of like, I don't know what to call it, but for right now, I'll call it like angry entrepreneurship, right? Like where people go through and they're like, why won't you support me? And you're my friend, but you won't repost my content. Like, I kind of went through that era of things, and it's like,
really? Tell me more about that. Like that really got to you?
Not so much. I'm not to that point, but I think when you start something new, it's like, all right, perfect example. When people create clothes, right? People create clothes. I haven't dropped no clothes, but like when people create clothes, like you got an upfront investment, and then you're looking for a return, and you got all of these people who say they fuck with you, and people who equate like fucking with you to be spending money with you or like enjoying what you're doing or like buying into what you're into. And so you put that money down and you expect them to make a return, and who you expecting to make a return from? The people who you thought were your friends that you thought was going to come through. But it's like, you got to get past that era. Like you asked me earlier, like what kept me going? It's like, there's more than just my friends of being my audience. God, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's other people who either can relate to this or be a part of it or whatever. So like, just to go back to the main point of what we were talking about, I don't really be asking people to repost my stuff. Either you get it or you don't get it. You like it or you don't like it. Either you're going to support it or you're not going to support it. But like, there's plenty more people in the world to just be like, and it's like, you don't have to get mad at your friends for that. Because you got to think like, it's not out of spite. I don't think my friends are like angrily scrolling past my shit like, I'm not reposting it. I don't think they do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just like, I had plenty of friends come through and they're like, nah, I just didn't see it. But recently, maybe like a couple months ago, I did like spam this one clip to all of my friends, and my friends are like, bro, just DM me when you post and I'll repost it for you. I'm like, okay, well, let's see how that works. So I DM'd all of my friends, and a lot of them opened the message, and these are like my real life friends, and they looking at it and they're like, bro, did your page get hacked? Because they didn't expect that message would be either coming from me or maybe the way I formatted it or what. So I'm like, man, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna post.
I mean, for me, so I told you earlier that I got like a personal page and a podcast page, right? I want to separate the two. And one of my line brothers who I brought on had asked me, he was like, bro, like, why don't you post on like your regular page? You got, you know, more people over there. And I told him, I'm like, bro, for me, it's like, if I believe that my brand is going to get to like millions of fucking followers, views, all that shit, like, I don't really give a fuck that the 2,000 people on my regular Instagram don't support. I don't really give a fuck if everybody I went to Howard with don't support. Because it's like, you know what I mean? If like I got like, it's like 10K over here that don't support me, but I got 1 million people over here that do. You know what I mean? Right. So you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
It's for who it's meant to be for. Like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I try to push out to my friends that like what I've learned in growing up is like, you have different friends for different things, right? Like you might have friends who go through and they're the people that you club with. Then you got other people that you go out to eat with. You got some people that you travel with. You got some people that
you talk about real life shit with.
You know what I'm saying? You got people that you invest or spend money with. So it's like understanding that direction of what's going on will also kind of cancel out that angry entrepreneurship. Because it's like they don't mean you harm. You know what I'm saying? They just may not be into that.
So I wanna go back to originally what we were talking about in terms of like, the Two Girls One Taco and bringing women on your podcast. And I don't think, for me personally, I don't think I've ever like actually considered doing that because, and I'm not sure if you took this into consideration when you made this move about like your brand, you know what I mean, and what you're trying to do. So like for me, it's like if I'm trying to, have Stephen Bartlett, Alex Ramosi, like all these like pop in entrepreneurs, I'm not trying to have no fresh and fit format where I just bring a bunch of Miami OF girls on. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to walk in a room with entrepreneurs, like 8-9 figure entrepreneurs, and be respected and have them want to come on my platform. We talk business and shit. And I feel like if you, start just doing fresh and fit type of content, like you're not going, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to translate. So I want to know like your thoughts on that.
So I think, like I said, studying the content of Fresh and Fit, that's not the only thing that I studied. That was just a highly effective podcast for either reactions, views, relatability, concepts, and topics. Like, that's just how I thought about that. So I took that. That's in its own basket. Then I had some other podcasts that I was watching where I'm seeing, like, one of my favorite is Rich and Unemployed, and I'm watching him do Fresh and Fit content on a more strategic level, right? So like, imagine them going through and asking a crazy question in which on Fresh and Fit, they might like wild out and go through
or use trigger words like you was talking about.
Yeah, so they'll use trigger words, right? And so that'll cast the conversation in one direction. Whereas the Rich and Unemployed, watching the host, his name is Jonathan, and he may say something that everybody in the audience, or at least all of the same people from the Fresh and Fit podcast or whoever, they'll go through and be like, oh, you know what? Okay, I don't agree with that. Well, he's just sitting there. He'll sit there and he'll like, okay. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to dig deeper into it. He might ask like more probing questions, but he's not going to dig into it to a point of like antagonizing and like triggering and getting like those negative emotions. And I think that's powerful because like, you can let people don't actually change or learn unless they come to the realization on their own.
Of course.
So like you trying to beat a point home to somebody is like beating a dead horse. You don't need to force an idea on somebody. Like either they get it or they don't. And if they don't get it, then you just keep on moving on with your life because you know that you get it, right? And so my whole thing is like, that's just one part of it. That's one fold of Two Girls One Taco. The second thing is like, at this point in time in society and the world, social media, just the world turning, women are doing a lot of great things.
Oh, yeah.
So back earlier when I was talking about like men don't share stuff and women share stuff, women are going to post their friend looking cute even if they mute the whole reel. They don't know what's going on. This girl could be saying something outlandish, but because her face is beat and her wig is laid and, her leave outs and like, she's going to repost that. That's my strategy behind it because the thing is outreach and engagement and getting a wide reach. And then it's also, there's plenty of women who have things to talk about. So like with me doing the rappers, I did the rappers 6-7 years. Yeah, like 6-7 years, right? And I have tons of women friends, like just plenty of women friends. And they always ask, like, they're always saying it like jokingly, right? But they're like, yeah, can I get on the podcast? When you gonna let me on the podcast? Can I be on the podcast? I'm like, it's kind of like rapper based. You gonna spit some bars? Like, you more than welcome. Like, I'm not gonna hold you back, but like, what we gonna talk about?
Facts. What we gonna talk about?
Right. So I had that like roadblock for so many years. Then I'm like, damn, maybe if we incorporate Fresh and Fit, trying to teach men, and Rich and Unemployed kind of does the same thing, but from a different approach.
Right.
Maybe we'll be able to create some good content. And to this day, I've had content go much more viral on the Two Girls One Taco page and format than I have on Taco Talks TV, which is like regular rapper, entrepreneur kind of content based athlete, dream chasing, regular dream chasing content.
Right.
So it's like, clearly it's working, right? All of my studies, all of my approaches, and there's just women, like I said, there's women doing great things out in the world, and I think they deserve to chat about something, and they want to pop their shit too. Like everything that they're saying on Fresh and Fit, which are not really the base of the topics that what we talk about on Two Girls One Taco, but they want to share their perspectives on what they think. And I think that also like men tend to not know what to say around women. They say like cringy stuff that makes women kind of like close up and run away. Yeah. It's like, I don't really have that experience. And if I do, it's like, okay, like I'm not a weird guy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just didn't receive that well. So go ahead and do whatever you're going to do with that. But I felt like if we can make a blueprint and kind of show like, hey, bro, you don't have to be super thirsty about every girl with a BBL or every girl that comes through with like pasties or, you know what I'm saying? Anything like that. Like any woman that's just looking good, like you don't have to hound after her. Like just have a conversation with her, be her friend, see what happens after that. And that's not to say that like I'm trying to date the women that come on to Two Girls One Taco, but that's just to say like just have a conversation with a woman, be normal, relax, chill, sit back. It'll be okay, bro.
So what's the ultimate goal of Two Girls One Taco?
I still want to get rappers on there. I don't think that Two Girls One Taco is different from Taco Talks. They're actually like under the same umbrella, but it's just navigating something that's directly for them. So like I said, creating that blueprint. So when I think about this, right, one of my ideal guests for Two Girls One Taco is the woman who created the Mumbo Sauce brand within DC, or
like the original Mumbo Sauce.
Well, I don't know about the original, but the first mass marketed brand production product of Mumbo Sauce, which you see in the stores. Yeah. You can get it at Costco, Whole Foods, but this is not promotion. But she did a great job of doing that. I'm like, wow, like, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you get to this? What was your strategy or your journey like in case anybody else wants to do this? Because I know women who do plenty of things, lashes, eyebrows, athletes, all types of stuff, dancers. So I'm like, let's just give all women a platform to speak their piece, to talk about real gender norms and expectations and just what your experience might be like in the field. Because I think in a lot of interviews, not even just podcasts, like you see women talk about or go through experiences where like men just kind of make them uncomfortable, whether they mean to or they don't mean to or whatever it is. And it's like, let's display that all men are not like this. Let's also show like this is how you should be conducting a conversation with someone on a business level. And then
or if just even a human level.
Yeah, just on a human level, right? And so that my whole goal is like, let's get great people on there. I'd like to have like Jada Waiter on there or Megan Thee Stallion or Wendy Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk, let's give women an opportunity to share their thoughts in peace and like not be super judgmental about it. You know what I'm saying? Just freedom of speech.
So what made you, well, I guess you said for the reach, right? Was the reason why you like started it originally?
Yeah, mainly the reach. And like I said, just I've had friends on the show. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really been able to bring my male friends onto Taco Talks because that's just not what it's for. But Two Girls One Taco being more of like an open format, open kind of conversation, it gives that freedom to like let my lady friends come and be a part of the show. And I'm all down for like support and inclusion. Yeah, but if you didn't know, now you know. Go watch Two Girls One Taco. It's a couple episodes out. I'm not sure what today is, but we'll go through and probably drop a new episode.
Man, Juneteenth was yesterday.
Oh, excuse me, Juneteenth was yesterday. So yeah, new episode on the way. Couple episodes in the vault.
Shit. So when I was going through YouTube, I saw that you did an interview with Rico Nasty. I was like, what? In 2016 when she was starting to blow up? How did that happen?
Man, the outreach used to go crazy. The outreach still does go crazy, but it's like thousands of people outreaching, so it's a little bit harder. But like I said, man, I think I had hopped on Twitter one day, And I'm like, I don't think I'm chain tweeting like endless people, but I really had liked Rico Nasty when she came out. I'm like, damn, like she's hard. Like she's really like a cool rapper. Like I enjoy her music. And so, yeah, I'm just shooting my shot. I'm just tweeting like, man, we need to knock out a Rico Nasty interview. And it's not like, I think there's a difference in your choice of words. You know what I'm saying? Not I want to do a Rico Nasty interview. It's like we need to knock one out, which is like kind of like backing yourself in confidence, right? Like it is going to happen.
Facts.
And so I just tweeted that, and then she tweeted back like, "Let's do it." And then we end up DMing, man. But the crazy thing with that, bro, I went and took my SATs. I had a half a day because of SAT testing. I left the SAT and went straight to Rico Nasty house and did that interview.
Damn.
Like that's why I be trying to tell people, like, if you're not dream chasing down to that level, like people don't just have the drive to go hard. Like, bruh, I didn't have to bring nothing to school. I didn't need no book bag. I didn't need nothing. I bought my camera book bag. I bought my tripod. They looking like, what are these materials that you're bringing to the SAT? I'm like, don't worry about it. We got a half a day, right?
Yeah,
they like, yeah, you do. You can leave as soon as you're done testing. And I knocked that test out. And I'm like, yeah, we on the way to Rico Nasty house. Like, we better go do that.
Niggas got better shit to do.
Yeah, I'm really not tripping off of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do a great job. I ain't just, hit C for every answer. But
that's why I'm over here thinking in my head. I'm like,
no, I ain't hit C.
Nigga over here geek to trying to get to the interview.
No. The joint was already locked in.
Yeah.
It was already locked in, but the fact that it had happened that day was like perfect timing, because like just trying to go through and like do regular human things and try to like merge an entrepreneurship schedule is like kind of crazy.
Hard as shit.
And
man.
so
who you telling?
I just was like, man, perfect timing. Let's go through and do this. But no, I didn't bullshit on my SATs. I got decent scores. Helped me get into my schools.
Yeah, because you went. What college you graduate from?
I didn't graduate, but I went to Georgia State.
Georgia State. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't graduate.
What made you want to go to college as opposed to just being like, man, what's the point of going to college if I'm already trying to, be...
Bro, I'm super strategic, bro. Yeah. This dude, public speaker, came to our school. I can't think of his name right now, but he went around the classroom. He asked everybody, like, what are you going to school for? Like, are you going because your parents told you? You going because you think it's going to get you a higher paying job? Like, what are you going to school for? Man, I raised my hand, told this nigga, I'm going to school to network. This nigga gave me $20. He's like, that's the best answer I heard in a while. Like, that's honest. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit about a degree. I'm in DC, and where else are rappers going to be? Where else are artists going to be? Where else can my business flourish? You know what I'm saying? Because we're not thinking about, like, most people think about college and then they graduate and they're like, all right, well, now what? I didn't have that. Like, I know I'm going to college because this, and this, and I went to college, and I definitely networked. That's how I met some bigger artists, more of my favorite artists. And even just good connections now. But yeah, I didn't go to school for the degree. I'll probably go through and finish at some point because school was not hard, but a degree wasn't absolutely essential. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. I feel that. Like, so I got a younger sister that's at Howard. I graduated from Howard, and I told her, I said, look, Howard University is a very prestigious university. And I'm telling you right now, it is not prestigious because they're teaching you the most elite finance, marketing, all this other shit. Like, no one, like, no.
Right.
It's elite because of the people that it produces and the network that it has.
Right.
So if you go, like, I would rather you go here and be the most known person in your class and not finish the degree than to get the degree and know nobody, have no connections.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So so I feel you on that, on the connections piece. The network from Howard has been crazy. It's helped me get into a lot of rooms and a lot of doors. How I got all my internships, full-time jobs, all that shit, bro.
Yeah, I think if people were more strategic in an approach like that, or just anything that they're doing in life, like, people only see what's right in front of them or what's going on in this moment. People don't typically think further than that. And I've always been like a 10-step ahead thinker. You know what I'm saying? Of like, all right, so if I do 1 and 2, all right, then I'll only have to go get 4 and 5. 6 and 7 will probably present themselves based on the completion of 4 and 5. You know what I'm saying? So like, people don't think like that. And that's been like,
just wake up and just do whatever.
Yeah, they
Belief in the wind.
Yeah, on autopilot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts, yeah. So one of my best friends, like me and him, we mad locked in. Whenever like we be talking, we always ask each other like if for like advice on certain shit. We always be like, "Yo, like, what is your desired outcome?" You know what I mean? I feel like people don't even get that far.
Right.
Like they just like going through the motions and what they
People
feel
blank
like.
out.
Yeah,
People blank out. You ask them what they want, they'll just blank out on that. We're like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm
it's,
gonna figure it out,
yeah,
which is
facts.
an unacceptable answer to me.
Yeah, or like it's like, why are you doing this? And it's like, oh, okay, like you know what I mean. And I was telling him, it's like, bro, like sometimes, like especially with certain people, you just asking the question like puts people on defense and it forces them to like think and defend their opinion. You think that, and they think you're being combative just because
Right.
you didn't agree with them.
Right.
It's like, nigga, no, I'm just asking you.
I'm
Like,
challenging you.
exactly. I'm just like challenging you, or really just trying to get some clarification to like as to what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, no, I'm glad to hear that. There's still people out there that think more than one step ahead.
Man,
Bro.
we the last of this cloth, bro.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
We are the last of this cloth.
It is not manufactured no more.
Yeah.
Discontinued.
Yeah,
Type shit.
this was a limited edition specialty cloth that you cannot find at this point in time.
So I know earlier you had mentioned, a rapper had told you if you're not gonna do this for 10 years, don't even bother starting, or really just anything. So like, what other advice would you give someone who's trying to start their own media platform?
Stick to what you like. Like, you're not the only person that likes something. Like, chances are you know about something because a mass audience of other people like that thing. Like, you're not just liking something individually unless it's like something like asparagus or something like that. I think that's, or like lima beans. I think that's like an individual type of thing. But like, chances are they're making variations of something because there are other people who like this. There's not just one Jordan. There's not just one pair of G-Star jeans. There's not just one podcast out here. Like, figure out what you like, stick to that, and figure out what it takes to be the best at it. I also go a little bit deeper, right? I told my one of my best friends, I'm like, go through and look at the person that you aspire to be, and then think about the things that you have. So look at all of the things that the person that you aspire to be. What do they have? What do they have that you can do better at? What do they have that it wouldn't be hard for you to start? And what do they have that you can make your own? Like, don't just copy somebody's format completely, because it won't be respected. It might be good, but it just won't be respected because other people will see that, like, oh, you're doing exactly what they're doing. Like, make it your own. Whatever it is that you like, that you're paying attention to, make it your own. And so I think by looking at whoever's at the top, that gives you a vision of where you'll go. And then keeping it realistic with where you are, now you know somewhere that there's spaces in between that you can fill in. And then it's up to you to figure out like what you think those steps are. And I think going through and doing the work, not quitting. I'm not a quitter. Like, I don't quit. That's one of the things that
clearly you've been doing this shit for 9 years, bro, going on 10.
Yeah, we a million views deep, but like we just not quitting. Like, rappers are now using the line like, "What I look like quitting today when tomorrow I could win."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
like that.
there's a picture of this dude, and he's in a tunnel. There's two tunnels. There's one at the top, and he's mining, and there's like this much wall left before he reaches the diamonds, and he's quitting. And then there's another one where the dude is like a sliver of the wall from where the diamonds are, and he's still like happily chunking, and he's mining deeper than the person who quit earlier. And so that's always been my thing, is like, from back with ASAP Ant and seeing those chains is like, all right, boom, we just one interview away from changing. Like, Gary Vee has said, like, you literally like one piece of content away from changing your entire life.
Oh God.
So it's like, what's the point of quitting? And even if it wasn't content, like, I'm just not a quitter. Like, even if, I tell people all the time, if Taco Talks didn't exist, I would still be Taco. I'm still not gonna quit. I'm still gonna be fly as shit. I'm still gonna be talking to beautiful women. I might still be around rappers. And if I'm not around rappers, I'm around affluent, wealthy people who I know who don't have anything to do with Taco Talks. I know them from my personal life. So it's like, all of this will still be going on. We're just doing it on camera.
Yeah.
You know, so don't quit. Do your research. and don't quit.
You said don't quit twice.
Yeah, I know. I know. Don't quit.
Shit was that powerful?
Yeah, man, I think that people just give up on themselves too easy, bro. Like it's
Bruh,
just not, bro. They say bamboo takes a whole year to sprout out the ground.
Damn.
You plant a bamboo seed, it's gonna take at least 1 year for you to start seeing the remnants of the like proof of concept. It's gonna take you a year to see proof of concept with some bamboo. So it might take me 10 years for proof of concept, which it didn't. But it might take you 10 years. But you gonna quit at 9 years? You know what I'm saying? So like, I think go hard. Like, go hard. Life is compounding. Success is compounding. So it's like, if you're not letting it compound, how do you know which results you're gonna see? How do you know what could have been? Like, I always think of what could have been. Like, I'm a real heavy dreamer. Like, everything is within reach. It's about how hard you're gonna go to get it and how bad that you want it. Like, I think I got new goals now, but like I went through and I've just had so many goals, and I've checked off the list of all of my goals a couple of times over. Damn. Where I had to go through and create new goals because like complete it.
It's a marathon, bro. It's not like, yo, I reached the top. It's like, no, nigga, like there's another mountain that's up here. You know what I mean?
Nah, for real. That also comes from my love for anime too. Them niggas do not quit. You watch main characters slapped around, beat, and defeated, and they still like, you know what? Naruto. Yeah, they like, yeah, we still got to go harder, bro. Now we can't give up. People relying on me. People counting on me. I said I was gonna be the best. This is my word. This is my ninja way. Like, we not gonna quit. So that quitting has been instilled in me. Even the nigga Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Moto, he's not quitting. He trusting in the cards.
The heart of the cards.
Yeah, he trusting in it.
Man, so what is the most proud interview that you've done? Like, you look back and you were really proud of it. It might not have been, got the most views. Might have been like your flow. Like, just what's the most proud interview that you done?
I probably got 2. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I got a lot of projects that I really like, but I'll try to keep it short. The first joint will be Rico Nasty, because the whole story and how it came about, that was an artist that I really wanted to meet and I really wanted to connect with. Then she ended up blowing up, super pop star. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of them. The other one would have been Drug Rich Peso, because that's when I first moved to Atlanta. He was the first artist that I connected with in Atlanta. And so Drug Rich Peso is this artist who was connected to Hood Rich Pablo Juan. So it just goes back to that strategy of meet this person to meet that person to meet this person. And then I would say Big Flock, because like when I remember just being in high school and like we was cranking this man. Like he was really that guy. Like he is that guy. He's a cool dude. He's a very genuine and thorough individual. And then I would say the last one would probably be me and Paco Panama have a documentary coming out, and just listening to his music like super resonates with me. And it's just thinking of a way to expand the content, like to make content better. Like I started off with interviews and I'm like, let's go harder. Like what else can we do? Let's introduce something new. Then we started doing vlogs, started doing concert recaps. And I'm like, let's do documentaries as well. And so I did a documentary with Big Flock. And through that, I saw that he was super genuine, one of my favorite rappers. But then I'm like, all right, let's go back and make this, let's clean this skill up. Let's revise this and perfect it. So now me and Paco Panama are working on one. And just the creation of that, being able to see him grow and see it. Like I've never seen an artist's career from start to where it is today, except for Paco Panama. Like through all my interviews and all the artists that I've met, I never seen somebody from like initial song or first tape up until now. Like Paco Panama is probably like 8 to 10 tapes deep.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. You was there for the whole journey, pretty much.
Those are my favorites, though.
So I was gonna ask, bro, like documentaries, vlogs. You got 2 podcasts, bro. Like, how do you manage your time doing all this shit, bro?
I don't like monotony, bro. So like, I'm not gonna quit, but if we have a better idea I'm not gonna just jump to it. I'm gonna research, but like you just gotta do it, bro. You just gotta do it. Like you just know it's got to get
Either
done.
gonna do it or you're
Like
not.
yeah, you either gonna do it or you're not. But somebody also told me they're like, bro, you gotta feed the beast. You know what I'm saying? You gotta feed your baby or you gotta feed the beast. If you don't feed the beast is gonna eat you. If you don't feed your baby, the baby's gonna die. So it's like, let's just keep on going. Like, let's keep pumping, let's keep on putting work in. Like, that's also not quitting. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of my beliefs and what I do, they're all interconnected to each other. Like full cycle of, what's it, the water process or recycling, like everything. Man, when I was in high school, I learned this term called evergreen. And evergreen is it's like always usable. It's always useful. And it just makes me think about
Timeless.
recycling. One more time.
Timeless.
Yeah, timeless for sure. Which I think is just another important key word. So like everything that I believe in, they all work together to support each other. Like they're all like beams of the same, setup, building, whatever you want to call it. Like everything goes together. And, these aren't just principles for Taco Talks or being an entrepreneur. Like these are my real life principles. And so all of the people I've talked to, the way my mother raised me, like shit just helped me be like, let's go hard for these things. You know what I'm saying? Let's show up in the world as a great individual by doing these things.
Yeah, I like that, bro. Especially, and I want to go back to something you had said earlier about like compounding. And I think people don't understand that the work you do today, you're not going to see the rewards until like a year, maybe even longer. I think you were saying something like, you know what I'm saying? Like you might not see the rewards until like year, 10 or something like that. So like, and I fuck with that because, me and you, we're going to get to where we need to go because we're not going to quit. You know what I mean? But
For
like
sure.
other people, they not. You know what I mean? Like Alex Hormozy always talks about, it's not that hard to win and beat everybody else because everybody else is trying to chase that immediate gratification. They're trying to get to the destination within 3 months, 6 months, and if they don't, then they're gonna jump to the next idea that they got, as opposed to being like, okay, this is a solid idea and it's obviously a proven idea. There's people that have breakfast club shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, so what you're trying to do is obtainable. You just got to do it. You just got to put in the reps. You just got to put in the work.
I think you just got to believe in yourself. Like
Yeah.
what I think another very important thing is people let non-believers talk them out of believing, which is like, I wouldn't say I'm stubborn, but you're not going to convince me without a solid, well-proven argument, point, perspective, presentation. Like you're not about to convince me. I'm open to hearing anything that you're talking about, but like, I'm not about to just let you sway me because you decided that you disagree. Like, what are you disagreeing from? Who are you to be disagreeing? You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so,
what evidence do you have?
Yeah, like, are you just talking from somebody you know down the street? Or like, have you tried this for 10 years and it didn't work? You know what I'm saying?
And then I think what's important is the why didn't it work? Not just it didn't work. Like, why
or also like, what does it didn't work look like?
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? Like,
exactly.
That's subjective. So like, I'm not about to let nobody convince me. I listen though. I'm down to hear you out. But like I said, I talk to so many people that I know when somebody's just like hating, non-believer, or they didn't try to, like, their dreams went down the drain. So now they don't believe in you because they gave up on their dream. Like, I'm not a giver-upper. You are.
So straight like that. We're not the same.
We're not the same. They definitely not like us.
And if you could go back to, the beginning of Taco Talks, like back in 2016, is there anything that you would change?
I probably would have just been editing harder. When I met the team here at High Life, somebody at the event that I met them at, they were like, bro, we seen your content. And it's like, I was getting views. I had more than 100,000 views or 200,000 views when I met them. But that stood out to me because I was dropping every single Tuesday of that year when I met them. So they're like, yeah, bro, we see you. Like, you keep on popping up. We keep on seeing your content. Like, you be working, you're dropping, like you're always working, like what's going on? And remind me of your question one more time.
What would you change? And you started off by saying editing harder. I was trying to figure out what point you were trying to make. Like, was your editing like not good? Like,
It wasn't even that it wasn't good. It was just like it was not the part that I enjoyed the most. So I wanted to like
yeah, facts.
offload that into someone else. And it's like I think that could have been a very powerful tool for me learning how to edit just because of how many people are now content creating and the importance of a good edit. Like nobody was telling me that my content needed to be of higher quality. Everybody kept on telling me like, good job. I see you working. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you dropping. Yeah, you outside. Like, I'm hearing all of this. And then somebody really pulled me up. They're like, yeah, bro, you got to up the quality of that. Like, it's cool. We see you consistent, but like, you're consistently at the same level. Like, you should be consistently progressing.
Facts.
And so,
damn, and that hit home for you, and you was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Because, you know, it's hard to see the flaws of yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're open to letting somebody else critique you and you let them critique you, then they can really tell you some good game. You know what I'm saying? And take everything with a grain of salt. Like I said, I'm not gonna let nobody convince me. But if you're saying this as an audience person, I should probably listen to you. Facts. Because you're the person digesting it. Then I just ended up seeing it for myself. Like I came across videos that were poorly edited or just like low quality edits. And it just made me think, I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
So I must have at some point, like, maybe my stuff need to be a top quality, higher edit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just go through and try to do it for the best. And I think you can get them higher qualities when you stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? Just sticking to this is what it looks like. This is what it should be. A working format, a working blueprint, recipe, a working recipe.
Nah, I fuck with that. Like you realizing that you need to up the quality, and you did, and you took the advice, and you did. I mean, that's probably the reason why I got me a Sony FX30, dropped like 2.5K on that shit, and it's like at the end of the day, like, and I'm not gonna lie, Loki didn't want to do it, but I was just like, damn, like I got to do it to invest in myself, up the quality. You know what I mean? Like I want to be taken seriously, so it's like if I want to be taken seriously, the content visually has to look like you're taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Regardless of if you just talking bullshit, you know what I mean? Which I obviously would not, but you know, but I resonate with your point.
It's two very important things to me. One is it costs to be the boss, and two is you need to invest in yourself. Like if you believe in yourself, you should invest in yourself. And investing doesn't always have to be monetary. Like me and bro, we're always learning. We're always bouncing ideas off each other. And granted, like I'm a super creative and bro is more like analytical executor. But you need those team members because like a lot of my creative ideas are good and he'll tell me which ones are viable, which ones are actionable, which ones we can actually make work. Because a lot of stuff I'm just like, yeah, that would be a really good idea. And it's like, yeah, it would be a good idea. But would it be a good execution? Would it be a good concept? Would it be a good...
Like, how does it look like actually executing that shit?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another thing that I've just also been learning. But yeah, I wouldn't say you need team members because there's plenty of people solo queuing life and business and things like that. But it's good to understand who you are because then you'll know who you need around you to help accelerate you.
Bro, that's a major key. My man's was telling you about Zaire. Like, I was literally just having this conversation with him yesterday, and Alex Hormozy was talking about who can you talk to unfiltered 100%. And he's probably one of the only people. And one thing I appreciate about him is that, like, he will tell me when I'm wrong. Like, you know what I mean? He'll like, if I get, like, I know if I ask for his opinion, he gonna give his opinion. He not gonna tell me what I want to hear. You know what I mean? And I think that's valuable to have a team around you of people, even if they're not like, when I say team, like he's not like helping me with my content or nothing, but like just in life in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just having people around you in my circle, just that are what's the word I'm looking for? Conducive to my growth, as opposed to just like letting me just do whatever bullshit. So
now you need those people. You need those people. And that's why I say like it's important to realize who you are. Like I know I'm a creative. I may not be as strong of an executor as bro is, because he's gonna make sure he's executing. But
Yep.
like also like I've executed so many things. So it's like, who am I to say that I'm not an executor? Because somebody else could look and be like, yeah, he's an executor. You know what I'm saying? But I just know for me, like, I'm coming up with ideas and, you know, I enjoy seeing this is what could be possible. You know what I'm saying? I went to this class and there were like 5 archetypes, right? I don't remember the other ones, but I know the 2 that I remember is like the visionary or the dreamer, and then you got the executor. The visionary and the dreamer is not technically the team leader, but the visionary and the dreamer is the one who helps everybody else believe that the reality can come true. Whereas everybody else is doing other like supportive things, which is still very valuable. But the dreamer is the one who can tell the analyzer, hey bro, just analyze it like this, and then we can get to that. He can tell the executor, you know what? You just need this tool to execute that. So it's like you're the dot connector. And so that's how I see myself. Like, you need something, I can go through and connect you. Bro needs something, I can go through and connect you. You need this and that, I can point you in the right direction. It's plenty of shit that I know in my mind that I forget about until somebody like key into that question. You know what I'm saying? Or key into that topic or whatever. So
yeah, thanks. I'm definitely gonna take you up on the connection for sure. Definitely need to bring more people on. My guests, I don't have too many guests lined up, so I'm definitely
no question. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw you had some good guests though. That's the other thing, bro. Just be well connected and like stay true to you. Like, there are people who like what you like. And I'm not saying that to you, I'm more saying that to them or whoever's listening. But like, I like stocks. So when I saw you had Chris Sane on here, like, people don't know that I like stocks. I've rarely introduced the concept into Taco Talks umbrella. But we recently had an episode of High Life TV where I kind of broke down like all of the different ways that you can make money from stocks, so that I could, provide like some financial wisdom to people who aren't even thinking about it. Because the same class that was saying that, you know, you got the 5 archetypes, the dreamer and the visionary, they also said like a very important thing is you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. Like, you don't know the things that you don't know. So it's like you got to go through and be around people who are better than you, smarter than you, maybe more successful than you. You know what I'm saying? So that they can kind of direct you and navigate you.
Facts. All right, broski. We are towards the end of the interview, man. I feel like we could go another hour. We just time been flying, man. We might have to bring you on for a part 2.
Hey, let me know, bro. I'm always down. I love talking Taco Talks.
Of course, bro. Anything you want to leave the audience with before we close out, though?
Man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If y'all didn't watch to this point, Myles m.youngblood, great interviewer. You know what I'm saying? One of the thorough interviews that I've done. I really enjoyed this. Go subscribe to Taco Talks TV and pitch yourself. You know what I'm saying? Pitch yourself. Always believe in what you believe in, and make sure everybody knows that you believe in you, because then that'll make them believe in you.
I like that. I really fuck with that. But all right, man. Appreciate you for coming on, Taco. My guy. Good brother, man. All right, you know what I'm saying? We're going to put all the Tacos socials in the description and in the show notes, man. Go check them out. Beyond Ordinary Podcast. Y'all stay great.
Peace. See ya.